Welcome back, folks. No successful entrepreneur can start a business without having a viable exit strategy. In the case of 365 Calendar, options could be abundant. But first, the company has to become profitable.
The film premiere calendar is a classic example of a 365 calendar entertainment calendar. The calendar marks the dates of all theatrical releases and provides movie buffs with an easy way to find information about the latest movies and book tickets. Moviegoers must have been waiting for a tool like this because since its release in June 2013, the calendar has accumulated almost 20 million followers.
I use 365 Calendar, and it has this film calendar. It's really convenient. It recommends a lot of information about films that I like and when they are on, as well as some interactive events like competitions for free tickets, which is really fun. I participate in a lot of them.
The movie premiere calendar provides its users not only with premiere times, but also informs the users of promotional events and allows them to buy tickets online. The company has also found new ways of utilizing their increasingly strong online presence.
There was this movie adaptation of this really popular TV show called Running Man. It came out around the Chinese New Year. I think the box office was over 300 million yuan. We led the film's promotional campaign on mobile apps.
With the film premiere calendar leading the way, 365 Calendar recruited another 13 apps, including picture apps, social networking apps, and utility apps to create buzz around the new movie. Moviegoers were provided with sneak peeks, exclusive interviews, competitions for free tickets, and a place to buy tickets online, benefiting both the users and the film production company.
At the same time, we monitored the effect of the 13 other apps. And according to our rough estimates, they provided a client with over 500 million views. And that's an amazing number. Just think about it, 500 million views. Even with a conversion rate of 5%, just think about how many people that is who went to see this movie. So we think that this cooperation, especially in terms of continued mobile exposure, had a really outstanding effect for the box office of Running Man.
The film premiere calendar has become a benchmark for 365 Calendar's over 20,000 public calendars. Any profit model is built on satisfying some form of demand. 365 Calendar's profit model, on the one hand, redirects traffic to big websites like JD.com, Alibaba's Juhuasuan, and Lefeng.com. On the other, it provides personalized, value-added services. The company's advantage lies in its ability to allow information to follow the flow of time, and that it allows notices, information searches, and record keeping. In this way, the company has created its own unique business model for the mobile web. By adapting its product to its users' demands, 365 Calendar has been able to slowly build a successful business model as it matured.
Well, Professor Jia, they say this is a successful and mature business model, but is the company making money?
That's a great question, but without looking at the company's financial statement, it's really hard to know exactly how much money the company is making. But generally speaking, for internet companies, especially app companies, because they don't directly charge their end users, so the revenue and the profit will have to come from third-party sources such as advertisement or from their partners. And also for these internet companies, usually the non-financial performance indicators such as number of subscriptions or number of users are more important and indicative of a company's performance than their financial performance indicators such as net income and ROA, ROEs. So I think for this company at this point, it's more important to generate a large user base, and then they can find the right revenue model to make money.
I remember it took Facebook years before it became cash flow neutral or cash flow positive.
Exactly, and if you look at all these NASDAQ-listed Chinese companies, especially internet companies, even after they become public, they're still operating at a loss. Right? So even though their revenues are going up each year, but they were still operating at a loss. Right?
So burning money is really the initial stage for a lot of internet companies.
For internet companies, yes.
So we talked about 360 has been partnering with these movie companies and agencies to create this movie premiere calendar for its users. Right. But other than movie companies, what are some other partners this 360 can look for to build up its user base?
Right. Well, I think for any business with a B2C business model, business to consumer business model, and also those that frequently organize offline activities, these will be ideal partners for a 365 calendar. So for example, in addition to movies, any entertainment related business is a potential client, for example, plays or other entertainment-related products, and also sports, sports games.
That's
soccer,
a big market to tap.
Exactly. Sports, soccer, or basketball. These are all ideal partners, and also education. Right? So essentially, 365 calendar can be used as a master calendar for a particular course, right? And they can also set up a online online blackboard, right, for students.
Sort of tiger moms to track their kids' schedule.
That's a possibility too, right?
So Professor Jia, I understand this company a lot better now, but what's the future for this company? Is it a viable exit strategy for 365 to sell itself to a much bigger platform, maybe WeChat as an added function?
Well, I think that certainly is a possibility. If the company cannot find the right revenue model to support its operations, or if the company can't grow fast enough to reach an IPO, then I think a trade sale would be a viable exit strategy. And especially given now 365 calendar has venture capital backing it up, and we know that VCs, they will have to exit their portfolio within a certain time period. For example, in China, the average lifespan for VC fund is about 5 to 7 years. So the VCs are under pressure to exit their investment within this time frame.
That's right.
So if the 365 calendar doesn't qualify for an IPO, then the company probably have no choice but to sell to another company to allow the VCs to exit.
That's right, because their investors would like to cash out at some point, right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for your insight, and thank you so much for your participation today, Professor Jia.
Thanks for having me.
Well, folks, having a mobile-based calendar acting like a personal assistant is an intriguing idea. But whether 365 calendar can turn a sizable user base into positive cash flow is an entirely different question. After all, the phrase cash is king holds true for every for-profit organization. Now, before I go, just a reminder that, folks, you can follow us on Weibo, WeChat, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter to share your thoughts. And if you do have an interesting business case to tell, make sure to email us at newmoney@cctv.com. Thanks for joining us today on New Money. We will see you next week.